Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing CSS Battle Daily Target for July 21st, 2025. Okay, this one was trickier than I thought it would be. At first glance, I thought it was going to be a lot easier. Primarily because I thought this was a semicircle. It's not. It's a little bit smaller than a semicircle. So, what we're going to do is we're going to set the body up as display flex. We're just going to put this element in the body. Everything's going to be centered with a line item center, justify content center. We can make this a flex container, and then have this element side of it centered, and then align items flex ends, give it a little bit of a margin, and it'll be in place. This was kind of a pain. What I realized is what I needed to do was we were going to create a full circle, and then I just created a div to cover up that gap. Just because, you know, if it was a semicircle, that's one thing. You know, that's pretty easy to do. But this whole business about it being a little bit smaller than a semicircle was, I'm not sure how to do that. If anybody does, I'd love to know. Please leave that in the comments below. Anyways, let's get into it. So we've got, this is our, what am I doing? Create a div. This is our circle at the top. This is the line, this little brown line we're gonna have to simulate a gap. And then we've got the children of the body, C, or the child of the body, I should say. C, and then we're gonna put this is the little red rectangle thing inside of C. And then we can start styling it up. That's all we need for elements. So let's think here. I'm gonna think about some colors here. So body, B, because that's that rectangle, and C. You're gonna need to give this a background color. It's not gonna be transparent because this circle is gonna bleed into it, right? So that needs to have a background color to cover it up. These are all gonna have a background of the brown color. Okay, and then we've got two flex containers. We've got body, whoops, and C are both going to be display flex. And they're both going to be justify content center. All right, that takes care of that. Now let's go into the body, just the body, and I think all we need to do here is just say the line item center. Now let's look at C. I'm just looking at all the flex items first, and then we'll get to A and B. So C, and actually, you know what? That's a mistake. One thing we do need to do first, because I don't want this messing up the flow. Both A and B are going to be positioned absolute. So we need to set that to start, because otherwise the layout can get a little bit funny sometimes if these aren't out of the way. All right, so back to C. Width of, what I think it was, 100. Height, I think it was 160. And then it's just got a border, solid. Is that right? That is right, good. This grayish color. And I believe that's 10 pixels. Yoinks. 10 pixels, there we go. That's perfect. And then we need border radius. I'm gonna say 30 pixels. Yep, that's right. All right, so that's good. And then we need to, let's look at D real quick. That's gonna have a background of the red color. And it's going to have a width of, I believe, whoops, what am I doing? It's gonna have a width of, I wanna say 80 pixels. 80. Ooh, that's interesting. Give it a default height. 20? Yeah, that looks right. We forgot to here say align. So this is the rectangle, right? We need to put flex end in here. Yeah, push it to the bottom. And then we can just give this a margin. I'll say 10 pixels. Yep. And so notice that these are all pixels. These are default values in CSS Battle. So for width, height, and margin, you just have to put the number. It's going to be pixels. It's nice because down in characters, so I always take advantage of that. Border radius. Those rounded edges looks like 10. So this is the top left. It's got nothing. Top right, nothing. 10 pixels. Correct. 10 pixels. Perfect. All right. So that handles everything that's being positioned with flex. So now let's come up here and we're going to look at A. Did we already give it a background? We did not. So let's start there. Backgrounds of this gray color. And I want to say you had a width of 50 pixels and a height of 50. I know it doesn't look right, but I think that's right. And then a border radius. Make a circle. We just need to set to 50%. Pretty simple. Okay, so now we need to figure out where the top of this is. That would be the next move. So top 30. I think that's right. Okay, there you go. See, this is what I'm trying to do here. That's perfect. So now, obviously, it's covering up this element here, and all we need to do is just set this to position relative, and it'll cover it up, right? Because what's happening here is this, I think it's called the stacking context, right? So because A has a position property, it's going to cover up C if the position property does not exist, right? Another thing you want to note is these things, the stacking context happens in order. So the lower the div, so C is going to be above A because it's below A. Like, watch this. So if I took this and threw, oops, what am I doing? I gotta cut it, not copy it. If I put this down here, now it's covering it up, in which case you could do this. You could set this to a Z index of 1, and that fixes it, right? But we're trying to cut down characters, so we don't want either of that. We'll just use default settings. Okay. And the last thing we need to do is just grab this B. We've already given it a background color, right? Did we? Yes, we did. Good. And I think we're doing this up here just to keep things nice and tidy. Okay, the width doesn't really matter. You just need to make it bigger than that rectangle, so I'll set it for a really big width. Width 200. It's going to be right in the middle, right? Because it's position absolute, so that's the default setting. A height of, I don't know. Oh, I do know. I think it's 10 pixels. Okay, so it's there. You just can't see it because it's being covered up by this flex container. It's probably, I think it's right here. But because the background color is brown, we don't see it. So normally I would go ahead and give it another background color to see it, but I'm pretty confident that's what's going on. So now we just need to position it from the top, and So if we put 40, right. So it's 40 from the top. I think it's 50. Bam, we're perfect. All right, good. There you go. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the comments to cut down our characters and then put everything in one line. I'm just going to highlight these first 3 divs. Command D on a Mac to highlight like characters. And get this last div and style tag on the first line. And then Command D for all the like characters. So I'm getting rid of all the white space here. This is cuts down your character count, which makes your score go up, because CSS Battle scores are based on accuracy and character count. So this is worth doing. I always do this. Careful when you're doing it. Sometimes you can delete something you don't want to delete and mess everything up. All right, there we go. Double check. We're good to go. And submit. There we go, 100% match. All right, hopefully you found this video helpful and enjoyable. If you did, please like it. It helps my channel grow. If you'd like to see more like these, please like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you again real soon.